All right, everyone, welcome back. Ready to dig into another career deep dive.
Let's do it. I've got my shovel ready, metaphorically speaking, of course.
Haha. Well, hopefully you won't need an actual shovel for this one. Today we're talking about geothermal technicians.
Now there's a career path you don't hear about every day.
Right. But it's one that's becoming more and more relevant, especially as we look for sustainable energy solutions.
Absolutely. And that's something we see reflected in these RoleCatcher.com articles we've got.
Yeah, they've got a ton of resources on this. Career guides, AI interview prep, the whole shebang.
It's like they're trying to equip you for every step of the career journey.
For real. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's start with the basics. What exactly does a geothermal technician do?
Well, on the surface, it sounds pretty straightforward. They work on geothermal energy systems.
Okay, that makes sense, but I feel like there's got to be more to it than that.
Oh, absolutely. We're talking about systems that tap into the Earth's heat to generate electricity, heat buildings, all sorts of things.
So it's not just about, like, digging a hole and sticking a turbine in it.
Uh-huh. Not quite. Though I'm sure there's some digging involved at some point.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
But seriously, what does the day-to-day look like for a geothermal technician?
Well, according to these RoleCatcher articles, it's a blend of hands-on work and problem solving. They install and maintain these systems, troubleshoot issues, even work with clients to optimize energy usage.
Wait, hold on. Work with clients. I thought this was a mostly behind-the-scenes kind of gig.
Yeah. It can be, but that client-facing aspect is becoming more and more important. As these systems become more common, technicians who can explain things clearly and address concerns are going to be highly valued.
So communication skills are key here, too. That's interesting.
Definitely. It's not just about being good with your hands. You got to be good with people, too. And speaking of being good with your hands, there's a surprising amount of technical knowledge required for this job.
Really? Like what? I always pictured it as more of a trade-based skill set.
Oh, it definitely is a trade, but these systems are complex. You need a solid understanding of mechanics, physics, even a bit of engineering to really excel.
Wow, I had no idea. So it's not just about being strong. You got to be smart, too.
That's a great way to put it. And that's actually reflected in one of the most surprising stats I found in these articles.
To tell.
So when RoleCatcher analyzed the skills needed for geothermal technicians, guess what they ranked as most important?
I don't know, problem solving. Maybe some kind of super strength for all that digging we talked about.
Close, but no cigar. It was actually education and training.
Really? Wow, I wouldn't have guessed that. Why is that so crucial?
Well, it seems like this industry is constantly evolving, with new technologies and techniques emerging all the time.
So if you're not constantly learning and adapting,
You're going to get left behind.
that makes a lot of sense.
It highlights how this isn't just a job, it's a career path with serious growth potential.
We're talking about a field that's literally shaping the future of energy, and those who are eager to learn and grow are going to be leading the charge.
Exactly. It's that intersection of passion, purpose, and let's be honest, some pretty cool technology that makes this career path so intriguing.
Okay, so we've established that being a geothermal technician isn't just about digging holes. It's a lot more nuanced than that.
Nuance is putting it mildly. There are some serious pros and cons to consider, just like with any career.
Right. Got to keep it real, right? So let's talk challenges. What are we talking about here beyond the obvious physical demands?
Well, picture this. You're outside, rain or shine, sometimes even dealing with extreme temperatures.
Okay, yeah, working outdoors in all kinds of weather, that's a given. But extreme temperatures. I thought geothermal was all about heat.
It is, but remember those geothermal fluids, the stuff carrying heat from deep underground? They can get incredibly hot.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And to regulate those temperatures, the systems often use cold water, too.
Oh, right, for cooling and heat exchange.
So yeah, one minute you might be sweating it out near a hot pipe. The next, you could be dealing with near freezing fluids.
Sounds like a recipe for some serious wardrobe changes.
You got that right. Layering is key. But beyond the physical challenges, there are also the realities of the job market to consider.
Right. Stability, growth potential, all that good stuff.
Exactly. Now, the good news is this industry is booming right now.
Yeah, everyone's talking about renewable energy these days.
And that demand is only going to increase, which is great for job security. But like with any growing field, there can be some volatility.
So it's not necessarily a coast once you've learned the ropes kind of career.
Not exactly. You got to be adaptable, always learning new things, keeping your skills sharp.
Which brings us back to that education and training thing we talked about.
Right. It's all connected.
Yeah.
And that's where a tool like RoleCatcher can be incredibly valuable. I know we mentioned their career guides, but their AI-powered features are next level.
Yeah, I was intrigued by that. How does that work exactly?
Well, imagine having a personalized roadmap, not just for landing a job, but for excelling in it long term.
That sounds amazing, but how do they do that?
They have this platform that analyzes job trends, identifies skills gaps, even offers tailored interview practice. It's like having a career coach in your pocket.
Okay, now that's something I can get behind.
Yeah.
But let's shift gears for a moment and talk about the career trajectory itself. Where does one even begin on this geothermal journey?
Well, the RoleCatcher articles actually break down the typical progression really well. You usually start as an entry-level geothermal technician.
Makes sense. Got to learn the ropes somehow.
Right, you'd be assisting more experienced technicians, getting a feel for the work, building those foundational skills.
Sort of like an apprenticeship.
Exactly. And as you gain experience, you climb the ladder from junior to intermediate technician, taking on more responsibility.
And eventually you could become a senior geothermal technician, right? Leading projects, mentoring newbies, the whole shebang.
That's the idea. And along the way, you can choose to specialize too.
Oh, how so?
Well, the RoleCatcher articles mention some interesting certifications you can get, like becoming a certified geothermal installer or a certified geothermal inspector.
So you could focus on the installation process or on inspecting and maintaining existing systems?
Exactly. It allows you to really hone your expertise in a specific area.
That's really cool. I love how this career path offers so many different avenues for growth.
It really does. It's about finding what you're passionate about and carving your own path within this growing industry.
Speaking of passion, I was really struck by something one of the intermediate technicians said in the article.
Oh, yeah. What was that?
They were talking about the importance of preventative maintenance, saying developing and implementing these strategies has been instrumental in optimizing system performance.
That's a great quote. It highlights how this job is about so much more than just fixing things when they break.
It's about understanding those systems inside and out, being proactive, thinking ahead.
Exactly. It's about using your knowledge to ensure things run smoothly and efficiently, preventing problems before they even arise.
That's a powerful concept, and honestly one that applies to so many areas of life, not just geothermal energy.
You know what? You're right. It's about taking ownership, being responsible, and always striving for that next level of excellence.
Now that's a message I can get behind.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny how we started this deep dive talking about digging holes.
And now we're talking about preventing problems before they even happen.
It's like that saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, right?
Exactly. And that applies to so much more than just geothermal systems.
That's what I keep thinking. It's a whole mindset shift.
Absolutely. It's about being proactive, thinking long term, and that's something we can all benefit from, no matter what our career path looks like.
Right. It's like those ripple effects. One small change can have a huge impact.
And speaking of impact, I think it's safe to say that this deep dive has given us a lot to think about.
It really has. I mean, I went from knowing next to nothing about geothermal technicians to being genuinely fascinated by this field.
It's amazing what you can learn when you take the time to really dig into something, pun intended.
Uh-huh. I see what you did there. But seriously, it's been an eye-opening conversation, and I hope our listeners are feeling just as energized about this career path as I am.
And if they're not quite ready to sign up for geothermal technician school just yet, that's okay too.
Exactly. Even if you're not planning to make a career out of it, this knowledge is power.
It allows you to engage in conversations about renewable energy, advocate for sustainable solutions, maybe even impress your friends with your geothermal trivia at your next party.
Now, there's an idea. I'm going to need some index cards for all these geothermal facts I've learned.
Haha. Well, we'll be sure to include links to those RoleCatcher articles in the show notes so everyone can do their own deep dive.
Good call. And on that note, I think it's time to wrap things up.
Sounds good to me.
All right, everyone, thanks for joining us on this geothermal adventure. It's been a blast exploring this fascinating career path with you.
Until next time, stay curious.
And remember, the future of energy is closer than you think. It might even be right beneath your feet.